Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today, we're going to talk about skills in the Palladium galaxy of games. Now, the reason I call it that is because, well, you can play in any era. They have a book for it. It's not GURPS or it's not Champions, the Hero system, whatever like that, where you have to build from scratch. You just buy the book. Well, okay, you buy the book, you play in that world, but there's built-in mechanics so you can move to other worlds, and one of those built-in mechanics is the skill system. It's the same throughout all the books and yet different. I'm going to go through the similarities first, and then I'm going to go through the differences.
Did you want me to start with this one or riffs?
This one's fine.
Okay. And one other thing.
What?
There is an official term for what you said, and that's the Palladium books Megaverse.
Megaverse, sorry. Sorry, Megaverse.
Noob.
You're right. But the one thing that is the same throughout the entire Megaverse of Palladium games is that skills are super easy. They're super easy. It's almost a no-brainer. All right. Here's the deal. You get a skill. There's a base percentage. And then right after the base percentage, it says every level you attain while having the skill, this base percentage goes up by this much. That's it. If you have a high IQ or you have special training, you get a one-time bonus when you get the skill. And that's it. After that, every level goes up by a certain percentage, between 2 and 7%.
Do you want to mention why we're actually doing this segment, or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
So we've watched some videos, read some comments and so forth, and one of the people's complaints about Palladium is that the skill system is hard. I don't think that's exactly specific. I think the bigger issue is somebody did kind of clarify in one of the videos is you roll a d20 for combat, but you roll percentile dice for skills, and that can be confusing for people. No, it cannot. And if you post a comment and
different stuff all the time, even in D20 games, you still roll D8s, D6s, D4s, D12s. You roll it all. You roll them all the time. So what's wrong with rolling these two dice? It's just different dice. That's it. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. But anyway, we're going to focus on the skills. And if you go to page 308.
Oh, wow.
Oh, hang on. Nope, that's the Riffs one. The Heroes Unlimited is page
27.
51.
Where are you going?
Going to skills, page 51. Riffs, Heroes Unlimited, 2nd edition.
Oh, you got 2nd edition?
Yeah.
Punk. I don't have 2nd edition. I have revised 1st edition.
All right, well then get that off the screen. I'm going to share mine.
It's 27. All right. Let me play 2nd edition. That's garbage.
All right, there we go. All right, we're going to look at computer repair. Just an example, all right? Computer repair, knowledge of internal electronics, computers-related devices, blah, blah, blah. That's great. Base skill, 25%, plus 5% per level of experience. That means if you go up a level and you already have this skill, you add 5 to it. That's it. You roll percentage for skills. How is that confusing? It's not. It's not confusing at all.
Look, this is the first time I ever heard that. If you go back and watch our reaction video to the board game captain who says that he prefers the Savage Worlds edition of Rifts versus the Palladium version, the actual version of Rifts, that was the first time I heard it. And maybe it's one of those things that you don't notice it until you're exposed to it. Then you kind of see it everywhere. From that point, I hear about it a lot with the Palladium system. Like, oh, well, if you like rolling different types of dice, then Palladium's good, but it can be confusing, No, it can't.
You roll different. Every game you roll. Actually, no. There is a game where you only roll percentile dice for everything.
Well, Battlers of the 23rd Century is an example.
Yeah, another one is Marvel Superheroes from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all you need is 2 dice, 2 10-sided, preferably different color or actual percentile dice, and you can play the entire game.
This is a crutch, and it is something I limit in my games. You are not taking boxing, acrobatics, and gymnastics on one character. It's not happening.
Okay. Hang on. We're not talking about your little homebrew bullshit, okay? We're talking about the actual skills and how they're actually supposed to be done. So let's keep it to that. All right. So this is Heroes Limited. Let's take a look at riffs. Computer repair, knowledge of internal electronics or computers, different really device. Okay. Base skill level. Oh, look at that. 30 plus 5% per level. And the reason I chose this skill was because one of Max's problems was that not problems. He doesn't have a problem with it, but one of his I say gripes about the Palladium Megaverse and how they do skills, the same name for the same skill will have a different starting skill rating depending on what game you're in. And okay, because the main balancing should happen in the game system. Secondary balancing is throughout the Megaverse itself. Now, the reason why computer repair in Rifts, you start off 5% higher than in Heroes Unlimited is because number one, computers are much more complicated. It takes a lot more training in Rifts. And in Rifts, you get a lot more personalized training because most of it's OJT. I'm going to get to that later. But you're just it is a better training regiment in Rifts than it is in Heroes Unlimited for this particular skill. And there are other skills in Heroes Unlimited, like say literacy and basic math, that start off much higher in Heroes Unlimited than in Rifts, because literacy in Rifts is not that important. Surviving the next monster attack is basically your bread and butter of things to do today. Whereas in Heroes Unlimited, you grew up maybe in the suburbs, you had a normal life, you went to school, you learned how to read and write without any pressure of getting murdered by, magical nonsense. So yeah, you had a lot more time to, really dig deep into your ABCs. So yeah. So again, throughout the entire Megaverse, you get the skill, you get the base percentage chance of success. And if you go up a level and you have the skill already, you add whatever it says adds per level. Usually it's 5. As you can see on this page, 5% per level, 5% per level, 5% per level. Indigo Dragon, I think it makes sense for Ninja Turtle to have both gymnastics and boxing skills. I do as well.
That's only 2 of the 3. I'm okay with that.
Oh, okay. Plus 5% per level. This one's plus 4. Impersonation's only plus 4. Now, why is it only plus 4 and not plus 5? Because impersonation is harder. There's a steeper learning curve.
Also remember, there are modifiers on this as well. If you're looking at I only have a 30% chance to use a computer. Well, first of all, if you're making people roll just to log into Windows, okay, yeah, maybe logging into Windows you need to, but to use a computer, you're wrong in the first place, or you just give a plus 50%. And so there are a lot of avenues in this game to give bonuses and penalties. So you're still going to be playing within your level. Now, a normally difficult, I want to dig into, maybe hacking the FBI goes too far. Crap, I'm on a watch list now. But, hacking into something, you only got a 30% chance, at least for that roll. Now, what happens when you fail? Do you trigger something, or do you try again, or are you out of actions? I mean, there's a bunch of different things. Remember, this is still kind of an old school-esque game. It's not going to hold your hand at every opportunity, and that includes the game master. So the game master has to decide at this point, what is going to happen next? Did you fail and trip alarm? Did you just fail and it's going to waste you more time? Or did you fail and you're done, you're locked out?
Okay, now you did say it. What happens when you fail? Well, like in many games, there is a critical success and a critical failure. Let's take one example, critical failure. In Palladium, any game, with only one exception, a special OCCs, you can have a maximum of 98% in your skill. That means a 99 and a 100 is an automatic failure. It's also, the homebrew games are different, blah, 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 stuff like that. But 99 and 100 for my game is a critical failure.
Is it 99 to 100 or 98 through 100?
Well, a 98, you can have a skill of a 98, so it can be a success.
Okay, you're right. It is 99 100. Okay.
So you cannot have 98 be a critical failure if it's possible to succeed with it. So there you are. You cannot have a skill over 98%. If you have a skill over 90%, the next time you gain a level, it just doesn't go up. That's it. But Heathen Dog, what about modifiers? What if I'm under fire and I can't breathe right and one of my fingers are broken? Well, then you take your 98% and minus all of that crap that the game master did to you, and that's your new roll. There is one OCC in Heroes Unlimited that it does not apply to, and of course,
You're talking the 98 limit.
Yeah, the 98 limit. One kind of OCC.
So I might be wrong in this because you know more about Palladium than I do. The way I've always done it in the past, or I remember doing it in the past, was that the skills could go to 130. It just doesn't matter. 99 and 100 are still failures. Those were used to trick out your modifiers.
No, the most you could have is 98%, except for, God, I can't even find it. Here we go. The hardware, analytical, electrical, and mechanical engineer OCCs. These are all one category, just specializing in these very, very niche areas. They can have certain skills to go over 98%. Still, 99 and 100 is a failure.
If you roll it.
If you roll it, it's still a failure, but you minus from your grand total. So let's say you have an electrical engineer, the electrical OCC, subcategory. I want to find the dude. Physical training, robotics, special training, super abilities. I can't even find it.
What dude are you talking about?
I got stream brain. I got stream brain. I can't do it.
It happens to me every week. I recognize it.
Oh, hardware. Here we go. Special over 100% skill rules. Page 121. Well, there you are. Oh, canceled. She's a female with boobs. Nope. Canceled.
Ah, how dare you? How do you know she's female?
Oh, good. I'm canceled. All right, hardware characters. That's this class of OCC. All hardware, mechanical genius, hardware, electrical genius, analytical genius. They're all subclasses of the basic OCC of hardware. Are absolute naturals at their chosen area of expertise. They start with amazing skill percentages, even at first level. This is to reflect their capabilities and to set them apart from other characters with similar backgrounds. They get special skills that overwrite, I guess, the basic skills. Like they will have, hardware genius, and it covers all of the hardware skills, all of the mechanical engineering, robotics, all that stuff. It'll cover all of that, and it'll be at like an insane 85% at level 1. It's crazy, but they can go over 100%.
They kind of need to for some of those when you have minus 60%.
Blah blah blah. Okay, here we go.
Oh, wasn't that one of them right there?
Characters should keep track of their character's total skill percentage, even beyond 100%, because this extra will help offset skill penalties. A 99 100 is still a failure, even if you have 130% in a skill. But situational modifiers, like your hand is broken, you're holding your breath because you have to do it underwater, or whatever, come off of your total skill, and then you roll. So let's say you have 135% proficiency, like it says right here, and a penalty of minus 20% was applied to this skill because you are doing it under fire. So you have a minus 20% because you have to rush because you're literally being shot at.
Right.
That brings from 135 to 115. Well, you haven't gone below 98, so you're still rolling 98. If you were not only under fire, but your arm was broken and you had to hold your breath, let's say that was minus 60% to your roll. So 135 minus 60 is what? 75. You'd roll 75 instead of 98 minus 60, which would be 38. For a normal character would have to roll a 38. You can roll a 75 because you're just that damn good. But that's just these OCCs. Every other skill in the world works exactly, they're the exception that proves the rule nonsense. Every other skill works exactly the same. You max out at 98%, and that's it. 99 and 100 is a failure. Straight up failure. There's always a 2% chance, a 1 in 50, even a master of their field. I've had the 10,000 hours of training and experience. I'm a master of this skill. I have a 98% proficiency. There's always a chance, but very small, that you will just fail.
I'm actually what you're saying, that the reason why I'm listening to you and so forth, but I'm trying to find that rule in the revised edition because, like I said, I don't play second edition, and they have the blurb in here that says, "Can you have a 100% or higher skill proficiency?" It says, "No, the maximum possible skill proficiency is 98%. There's always a margin for error." But we always treated that the same. I'm trying to find, because I do know that hardware did talk about that, but I'm not seeing that rule. And I'm just wondering if that's like a clarification or a change for second edition.
With the 98%, it's right here. However, to gauge success, the character still has to roll under 98%.
Right. No. That part I don't even want to say we disagree. That part I'm completely clear on.
Okay.
It's the part of saying that a skill itself, like if I keep leveling up a skill, I have a high IQ, so on and so forth. We still did it. I seem to remember, and I could be wrong in this. In first edition, we played revised. We still raised our skills to 120. It just didn't matter. It's always stopping at 98. The example you gave for hardware is how we treated every character in my recollection.
No, that's the specialness of the hardware classes.
But I'm trying to find that in first edition. I'm not trying to take up your time here because it is it is absolutely point blankly written in there that way. Yeah. I don't see that in first edition revised yet. So
okay, well maybe it is. Did they have the hardware classes in first edition?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well then I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, go on. No, I'm just pointing that out because I'm wondering if that's a change, or I might be completely wrong, and I'll find it here in just a moment. I'm not trying to argue with Heathen Dog. I want to see it in writing because maybe either we played it wrong or I'm just misremembering.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, if you like my misremembering,
think of it this way. Subscribe, please. Old Man Brain. Subscribe to Old Man Brain.
There you go.
But think of it compared to a D20 game. All right. For example, Max Liao.
What? Why me? Stop it.
He has the curmudgeon skill.
Okay? You know that's at 150%.
He has the curmudgeon skill. He's really good at it.
Or so I believe.
He has total bonuses of say plus 18. So he can make a DC 20 by rolling a 2. At that point, you are considered a master of your field. You are considered like literally in your sleep. No, not literally, but figuratively in your sleep.
No, let's go. I can be a curmudgeon in my sleep.
Okay. The DC 20 is a difficult task. Do it with one hand with a plus 18 bonus. An average roll is DC 30, which is extraordinary. But you roll a 1, you fail. I mean, technically he had DC 19, right?
Yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but you roll a 1. Even in 5th edition, that's an auto fail, right, for a skill check.
You'll have to ask somebody who knows, because I saw some posts on our Discord about that. If I understood what they typed correctly, it's an auto fail unless bonuses make it a success. Okay,
well. If it was, then let's go with this. DC 20. You roll a 1. Let's say it's not an auto fail because your bonuses only go plus 18. You got a 19. All right, there you go. That is a 1 in 20 chance you can auto fail. If 1 is an auto fail, someone in chat go ahead and throw in there that
1 isn't an auto fail in 5e.
It's not an auto fail.
At least, well, I'll have to wait till it pops up over here, but. It ain't good either. Well, right. Fair enough. It's not auto fail, but it ain't good, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah, it ain't good. Yeah, definitely.
There we go.
An auto fail in 5e. Okay. Well, then, yeah, that's they kind of coddle people in 5e. There's always a chance you can screw up, no matter how good you are. There's always a chance you can screw up. In AD&D 1, if you roll a 1, that's an auto fail. I mean, it's actually a critical failure. At that point, no matter what bonuses you had, no matter what, you have a 1 in 20 chance of just failing completely. Well, in Palladium, it's only a 1 in 50. You get a lot more play when you go with percentages instead of D20s.
I love percentage-based games. I really, really do. Like, I think all of them.
Yeah. It's only an auto fail for attacks. Okay. So, yeah.
The only thing I don't like about most percentage-based games is people really take that to heart and decide to, put rules in there for every single 1% you could think of.
That's a little weird. That's a little
Battlelords of the 23rd century is perfect for that.
Yeah. The one reason I chose Palladium over another game, say Call of Cthulhu, is because this is not a points-based skill system. Whereas Call of Cthulhu, you assign points. You have a pool of percentage points, and you assign them around to create to create all your skills. In this one, you choose a skill, it gives you your percentage of success out of the gate. If you have a high IQ, great. You learned it better than other people, you get a one-time bump. But every level after that, it's whatever it says. 5%, 3%, 7%, whatever. It could not be easier to keep track of. If you go to the Palladium website, there's even an official Heroes Unlimited, and I think they have it for Rifts as well. PDF you can download, a character sheet you can download that not only has the skill, but in a parenthetical, it'll have the percentage increase for each level. So you don't have to look it up anymore. You only look it up one time when you get the skill to get the base percentage. And after that, you go up a level, you say, oh, +5. Okay, +5, +3, +7. Just adjust your character sheet once per level, and you're good to go. Could not be easier.
So if we're to step by step put this in old TTP, tactics, techniques, and procedures, you write it down on your character sheet. It says 70 + 4. You gain a level. It's now, hold on. Let's go back. You have 70 + 4. You have a high intelligence. We'll now say it's 73 + 4. And you get your first level bonus, 77 + 4.
Actually, no. Technically, that's homebrew. You do
Is
not.
It?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I've seen everybody do that. I never liked it, but I've seen everybody do it. Okay.
Yep.
Good. Then 73 + 4. You level up to level 2. Guess what it is? 77 + 4. Now you're level 3. 81 + 4. If you can't do this math, well, there's a chart for you. But
yeah, technically. But if this is adding a single digit number to a 2-digit number. If you can't do that, then you need more help than you can get from here. You should try and find that help. What else? Oh, another difference. It would be cool to see you guys go over to the Palladium Fantasy 2E game.
I don't have it. I only have 1E or 1E revised. I don't have any second edition games.
Yeah,
unless Rifts has considered that.
Yeah, the Rifts Ultimate.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's even close to second edition. I've got everything. I've got I mean, this is my Heroes Unlimited book. It's, hey, look at that. You can see through it.
Yeah.
And if you can read on there really small, it's the revised. And I have zero, not that I don't like Palladium, I do. It's just I don't need to buy second edition because I like this.
Yeah. Fine. It's fine.
My Palladium Fantasy stuff's over there, so I don't know what edition it is. But I'm pretty sure it's first edition because it's years old.
Right. But skills across Palladium work exactly like that. You get a base percentage. Every level that you have the skill and go up, it goes up by 5, 3, 7, whatever the skill says, it goes up by every single time. That's fine. Works across all.
How is this hard for people?
I guess so. But the way skills are divvied out are different in each game. And there's a good reason for that. Let's go to Heroes Unlimited. And let's check out. Yeah, see, this is
that's second edition.
That's second edition. I have the first edition book as well.
You actually have the real first edition book, not the revised, right?
Yes. I have the original first edition. All right, so let's go to skills. Where are you? Streamer is great for the brain.
So Indigo Dragon, I'm not
skills, page 44.
I'm not a fan of Pathfinder at all because one, I'm tired of the D20 system. 2, it's way too crunchy. It's not a role-playing game to me. I don't care if other people like it, that's their business. And to be fair, I don't like the people behind Paizo, just like I don't like the people behind WotC. So I have every reason in the world not to give them money. So
All right,
we did mock the play test of the second edition player's handbook. If Heathen Dog remembers that.
No,
Back on the old Legion Myth Weekly live stream, and I think it's the first time I'd been on here in like 2 or 3 years, and that's when we went over the whole. That was really the first thing we ever addressed in terms of SJW nonsense, and if your character doesn't feel comfortable, et cetera, type stuff.
Yeah. All right, now, Rifts and Heroes Unlimited, along with I believe TMNT also uses skill programs, and
Yes.
Ninjas and Super Spies uses skill programs. Rifts does not, but there's a reason for that.
Neither does After the Bomb necessarily. I have to look it up again, but it's the same reason.
Right. The reason being is because in Heroes Unlimited, in TMNT, in Ninjas and Super Spies, there are formal training centers, formal training programs. There's universities, there's high schools, there's trade schools. There are formal programs that if you want to learn this craft, you learn all of these skills. So instead of buying or choosing individual skills, you choose skill programs. And within these skill programs, you get a set number of skills.
You can keep reading. I'm just putting this on the screen.
That's fine. That's fine.
It made me laugh.
Now, in Heroes Unlimited, you also start with your education level. So you roll 1 to 10, you're street schooled.
Okay. If you come to me with $4 million with every single character you ever have, no, I'm watching you roll in front of me.
Okay. All the way up to doctorate or PhD. And this gives you extra or less skill program choices depending on your background. Like if you're street schooled, obviously you're not going to have the advanced mathematics skill. You're not. Because no one taught you particle physics. I'm sorry.
I'm going to sidetrack you for a second because this is bothering me. This part right here, this is one of those, this is very similar to everybody taking acrobatics, gymnastics, and boxing. This part, mysteriously, everybody was either espionage ninja. Now, I don't know if that's in Heroes Unlimited. I'm kind of talking more TMNT, or they were PhDs. Like somehow every single person rolled that 95 or whatever it was to 100. Have you run into that where it's like everybody was coming to you like, well, I don't want to play somebody with just secondary skills. That sucks. Their character's no good.
No, I haven't run into that at all. There are restrictions and benefits to each one. Like if you're street schooled, you get for free Streetwise Prowl, weapon proficiency, knife or automatic pistol, and select 3 rogue skills, 2 domestic skills and 2 technical skills with 8 secondary skills. Now, this gives you the most diversity of all the programs. It gives you the most diversity, but it prevents you from getting the higher level education. Like, for example, if you go over to the PhD, select 4 skill programs plus 30% to all the skills and 10 secondary skills. Those 4 skill programs may have 1 or 2 skills in them. We can scroll down and see the skill programs.
Depends on the skill program.
Depends on the skill program. Like the communications program has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You spent, you got a PhD. You spent 8 years in school.
I got a PhD in weapon proficiencies.
You got a PhD in that would be
yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, you can. Military, no. Maybe military demolitions is one of your programs. Mechanical program for mechanical engineering. Maybe mechanics vehicle for another one. Probably electrical program as well. To make your character more viable in the field, stuff like that. You probably want to take that. That's great. And then you get to choose 10 secondary skills. Okay. That's a lot of skills, man. That is a lot of skills to have. I mean, just those 4 right there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One more. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, plus 10, 26 skills. That's a lot of skills, right? You know why? Because you spent 8 years in college doing nothing but learning shit.
And when you really start putting stuff together through robotics and all that other mess, you still find out that there are a couple skills you're going to be tapping into some of those secondary skills.
Yeah, you're going to need to get a contractor to do something. But we look over at Rifts. Rifts does not have education level. They do not have you roll for education. You know why? Because there is none. They just have all the skills They're not in programs because there are no universities, there are no trade schools. Everything you learn from the guy who taught you to be a glitter boy, or the woman who taught you to be a ley line walker.
Cyborg.
Skill list, comprehensive skill list, blah, blah, yeah, skill descriptions, yeah, that's fine. So for skills, it's all OCC based because it's all OJT. Everything in Palladium is OJT. So if you want to know what skills you can choose, you have to go to, there's a glitter boy. Here we go.
Glitter person, thank you.
Nope, it's a boy. It says so in the title.
Did you lift up its tail?
It says so in the title. Literally self-identifying as male. Okay. All right. So OCC skills. These are the skills that your teacher teaches you to be a glitter boy. This is what you need to know to be a glitter boy. And you get this bonus because you had an instructor. Great. One-time bonus. Just like in Heroes Unlimited with the PhD, you get a one-time bonus of plus 30% to all those skills in those skill programs because you had instructors instructing you. You didn't have to learn yourself. You didn't have to learn out of a book or just trial and error. No, you had someone instructing you, so you are more proficient out of the gate. Great. That's awesome. And then you get secondary skills. Select 12. Let's count the skills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, plus 12. What's 16 plus 12? 28. Crap, that's even more than the PhD. I thought he only had 26.
Was that including the secondary?
Yeah, because he got 10 secondary skills and he got 4 skill programs. We add them together. So
again, it depends on what skill programs you pick, but for the most part, yeah.
But ends up having more. But the OCC related skills, these are related to your OCC that your teacher may have known or known something about, but this is more you learning a little more on your own. So your bonuses are either non-existent for initial, or they are very low comparatively. 10, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 10. Whereas over here, it was 10, 20, 12, 10, 15, 30. You get this at 96% American and elf language and 96%. That's great.
Wait, go back up. You have elf? There are elves in
Dragonese / elf is considered the same language.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know there were elves in Rifts.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There are elves in Rifts. I mean, they rift over from Palladium all the time.
Oh, fuck. Didn't even think about that. Yeah, okay, good point.
Yeah. And then secondary skills. Select 6 secondary skills from this list with no bonuses whatsoever. From this same list of OCC related, but you don't get any of the listed bonuses. And then you get another 2 additional skills at 5, 10, and 15. 15 being the maximum for a Palladium system. That's your level. So yeah, I mean, skills work exactly the same. You just get them differently depending on the Palladium system that you use. If you are in Apocalyptic Future like Rifts or in Palladium Fantasy, you're not going to have access to formal training. So you're not going to get skill programs that encompass several skills.
Yeah, my issue was, and again, gotta be careful I say this because I'm making it sound like a complaint, and it wasn't a complaint at all. It was just a frustration for me as I was trying to run a science fiction-esque TMNT type game.
Yep.
So instead of after the bomb post-apocalyptic, it was going to be more TMNT, but in outer space. And I mean, they've got mutants in orbit. Sure. They've got transdimensional TMNT, which I don't really use. It's a neat book, but not one that makes a good game, and I don't care what anybody says on that one. But I wanted to do something science fictionist, so I picked the science fiction-y games, Mechanoids. What's that one I've got? Splicers, Rifts, and Heroes Unlimited, because at least it had some technology for modern technology, and it was just a pain in the ass because some won't even have a skill, and some will have the same skill but break it up into 3 skills, and it was like So there isn't like a quick morphing over. So Kevin Sambita, you need to make a science fiction universe.
He's made so many. I think he's done.
No, he's not done. No, sir, you are going to make us a science fiction universe.
Lost Ogre says Phase World. And that's the really cool thing about skills. They're exactly the same, no matter if it's an SDC world or MDC world. It's fine. The skill will work. If you want skills from a high science fiction universe, use the skills from Phase World.
I don't have Phase World.
That is super FTL nonsense. That is like Star Trek type stuff.
See, I don't have that, so I didn't have that to reference. Phase World. Let me take a look right now.
Yeah, Rift's Traveler. Okay, that'll work too.
The hell's Rift's Traveler?
The explanation I give is that if you go from Heroes Unlimited and you rift it into Rifts, and you say, hey, how come the base skill for this in Rifts is 5% higher? Well, because the technology or the OJT is just that much better, that 5% better out of the gate. Well, do I get a 5% bump? No, you don't.
Looks like I've been corrected and I have to take back my rant.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there are rules in Heroes Unlimited for high tech or alien technology. You get a -20 until you can familiarize yourself with it. So that means anyone in Heroes Unlimited who goes into rifts or encounters any kind of other alien technology, they're -20% to all their skill rolls doing the same thing until they become acclimated with the new technology.
So my
blind spot in his RPG history. Mr. Mac.
My issue with Phase World is I don't want it tied to Rifts at all. Not that I hate Rifts, I want it pure sci-fi and not rifty.
Sci-fi and magic. Yeah, I get it. And if you want that, then I recommend going for Robotech. It may not be as high sci-fi as you want.
No, it's not in print. It hasn't been in print since the early 2000s.
Okay, well, you find the book on eBay? It's probably cost $80, but whatever.
That's my regret. Is that I never got the Macross book or the Invid Invasion book. I don't need Southern Cross, but because that was my first Palladium game ever was Robotech.
Yeah.
All right, I'll look up Rift's Traveler. I can't find it right here in a quick search, so I'll take a look at it.
Yep. So basically, percentage-based. Here, stop the screen. Percentage-based systems give a lot more nuance, and they give a lot more variation, especially if they're point-based like Call of Cthulhu. But even with Palladium, where it's just a base and then a bonus for every level you go up that you already have the skill for, having a 1 in 50 chance of failure instead of a lot of games where 1 is a failure. I mean, 5e is different, but there's a lot of D20 systems that 1 is a failure. You roll a 1, it's a failure. You roll a 20, it's a success. In fact, that's a very common homebrew thing. Even in D20 systems that don't have that, it's very common for a game master to say, hey, in my game, 20 is a critical success and 1 is a critical failure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Well, that's a 1 in 20 chance of critting either way. Whereas in Palladium, you have a 1 in 50 chance of critting either way. You have a less chance of critical failure and a less chance of critical success because everything is a lot more regimented. Everything, your knowledge is a lot more solid. There's less variation. I like that because people in Palladium and in Call of Cthulhu stuff, they have a percentage skill over 80%. They're proud of that. And they should be. Because you literally, if you have an 80%, there is only an 18% chance that you will fail this roll. Well, okay, 20.
No, it's 20, but yeah, I know what you meant.
But 99-100 is a critical failure, so I consider regular failure. To regular fail this roll is only an 18% because you're going to fail on a 99 and 100 no matter what. All right, and it's going to be bad. There you go. But and they're very proud of that. But in a D20 based system where you're rolling a 20-sided die, adding to a bonus you already have, there's a lot less variation. That's my opinion. I have no mathematics to back that up. But just the fact that each die on a D20 compared to a D100 ranges 5%.
Yes, Mr. Max, it's just Palladium fantasy.
What does Mr. Max say?
Is there a medieval type game in the Palladium system?
Oh yeah, Palladium Fantasy, the first one. That's that's your fantasy D&D-esque type world. High magic, creatures, all the good stuff. So yeah, that is basically it for Palladium skills. It's not a big thing. It's not a new thing, but people, a lot of people, including some people here, just weren't exposed to it. So they see a D100 like, oh, another die. I'm like, number one, you got a whole bag full of all different dice anyway. You roll them all every day.
Talk to anybody who plays Dungeon Crawl Classics or Mutant Crawl Classics with even the extra dice, D16, D24, D30,
Yeah, exactly.
D5.
Yeah. There's a lot of dice with crazier stuff. Yes, you have to roll, and if you want to talk about that in another segment, rolling a D20 for some stuff, but percentage for skills.
It's literally cut in half. They don't
I know
mix.
they do not cross over. If it's a skill check, it's a percentage. If it's literally anything else, it's probably going to be a D20. It's not going to be percentage. It's going to be a D20. So
yeah. Now we talked about this in the background, and I'm not volunteering, Heathen Dog for anything in the future, but I will accept anybody's discussion point that says Palladium can be difficult in combat to learn all the modifiers.
I can agree with that.
I got around that by making a specialized character sheet that literally had every single combat option on it. So when I looked at it, it just went, okay, I'm sniping I'm sniping using suppression fire, blah, 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 whatever it all happens to be. I'm taking aim, so I'm using up my actions, aim, blah, blah. Okay, that gives me a +7 to hit. I had all that already calculated out, so I didn't have to think about it, even if you knew the rules and so forth. The base character sheet doesn't come with that, so I can understand in that regard. But that's a discussion for a different time. But I get it. I get that part of it. But to say that you roll a D20 here and you roll percentile dice there, and that could be confusing for some people.
No.
Segment 1.
If they somehow crossed barriers, maybe, because then you have to decide when you're going to roll a D20 and when you're going to roll a D100. But there is no decision. If you're rolling a skill, it's a D100. Anything else, not a D100. That's it. That's it. Skills could not be easier. Why are we knitting? It's the only skill I have 80% in, which means under all of these minuses, bullets flying, bombs going off, that's the only thing you could possibly succeed at. You made your character badly. I'm sorry. you blew one of those PhDs in the domestic skill program.
Hey, that could be
underwater basket weaving is a thing.
Domestic is important in Palladium Fantasy. It might not be so much in like TMNT or Ninja Super. Well, I could see it important in Ninjas and Super Spies too if you're doing some sort of long drawn out thing. Exactly. But other than that,
Heroes Unlimited, TMNT, yeah, domestic skills are not that important. In Palladium Fantasy and in Rifts, super important because you're out in the literal wilderness, and if you don't have some domestic skills like say hunting, fishing, sewing,
I forget
fire, building a fire.
You got to keep
like
hey, heroes need to keep those spandex all nice and tight, man. What are you talking about? Sewing's important.
Sewing's important. There you go. So yeah, you'll need the domestic skills more in those other games, but in more modern and futuristic stuff, domestic skills are not that important. Not a lot of people take them unless it's part of their, unless they're trying to role play their character. Like, I was a cook, and then I got irradiated with the green transgenic goo, and I got turned into a superhero.
But, I mean, I'm not trying to parse anything, but just as an example to always keep people's brain juices going here, I could see it in a sci-fi game if you're doing it, say, like in a Star Trek vein, where you might be going to worlds that aren't at your level of technology.
Now, as a matter of fact, you mentioned Star Trek. In DS9, Captain Sisko was an accomplished cook because his father.
But he also played baseball. I mean, come on.
Yeah. He was an accomplished cook because his father taught him. His father owns a restaurant, Cajun restaurant, and so he learned how to cook. That he in character generation, he blew a skill in cooking for that. Can't you just get a wife for your character? Yes, I suppose you could. But
It made me swallow the wrong way.
I know. But the problem in a superhero game like Heroes Unlimited, having wives and girlfriends, you get into the
You just gave the game master a nice free easy.
exactly. You know, it's the Aunt May conundrum.
Yeah.
Aunt May's always in danger now. Your wife always in danger. Doc Ock always, for some reason, went after May Parker. I don't know why. Just cause May Parker was always in danger.
Please go after my wife. You can have her. not trying to be Rodney Dangerfield there. I'm just saying. Go.
There you are. So yeah, couldn't be more simple. The only game that I am completely versed in that is easier than this one with D100 D100 dice is Marvel Superheroes, the 1980s version.
You actually think that's easier, having to worry about are you Shift X or are you extraordinary and so forth?
But there's only 2 dice in the whole game.
Yeah,
you
fair.
Literally only need 2 dice to play the game.
See, I think that Chaosium system, or games like Chaosium system is one of the easiest
because everything percentile.
It says 48%. Well, guess what?
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you still need different dice to roll damage.
Okay, fair.
But in Marvel Superheroes, the 80s edition, the damage was already listed on your character sheet. That's how much damage you do every time. There is no variable. This is how much damage you do. Did you roll to hit? Yes. Did you succeed? Yes. You do this much damage. Okay. And that's it. You have this much armor? Yes. It blocks this much damage? Yes. Okay. There you go. 2 dice. All you need. It's great. And if you want to learn about Marvel Superheroes from the 80s, you can look up YouTube. Yeah, you can look up YouTube, the Legion of Myth weekly live stream. I did at least 2 episodes, 2 segments on it, 2 30-minute segments on it.
They're in a Palladium playlist.
They're in
I have no. I want to say is anything. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about anything you've done. If certain games are in their own playlists on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. If you go to our webpage, our YouTube page, sorry, and you look up playlists, and you'll find all the Palladium stuff in one playlist, and Marvel Superheroes apparently has its own, unless it's under miscellaneous of some kind. I don't know how Max put it together. But yeah, go check that out. If you want a super easy game that even like an 8-year-old can just pick up and go, Marvel Superheroes is it. Unless you want to go Hero Kids, which is also a great.
The Marvel Superheroes might be in our miscellaneous. I'm going to actually look it up right now for everybody.
Okay, great.
That's if it's labeled that. Oh, crap. I typed in Marvel, and guess what happened? I got all of Al's reviews.
Of course, yeah.
So that'll take a while to find.
You only need a single D20 for everything. Well then, as easy.
I thought Mutants and Masterminds was just 3rd edition D&D. I have Mutants and Masterminds, never played it one time ever. I own the book because I thought I was going to be forced to play it when I was, this is like 20 years ago. And never had to play it. One, it's a superhero game, and secondly, I thought it was D&D 3rd edition, so I bought that book very much under duress.
I see.
He says, no. Okay, well, then I was wrong. I haven't read through it.
For damage, Means of Masterminds, you roll D20 for damage, or is damage just like in Marvel Superheroes where it's static? Each weapon has its own static damage.
So I just, excuse me 1 second here again. God dang it. So I just want to reiterate one more time that the reason for this segment was specifically about because we've seen some things online that pretty much say, hey, Palladium would be great if it wasn't difficult, or Palladium would be great if it didn't have multiple dice rolling systems and so forth. And I don't know how much easier you can get to sum up. I mean, this whole video could have been summed up as get your skill, add your intelligence, level up, add the percent.
Yeah, literally after you get the power, you get a one-time IQ boost. You may get a one-time teacher boost with a plus 10, 5, 30%. After that, every time you go up a level, you increase it by what it says. 5, 3, 7.
And it's the game master who has to know everything else, not you.
Yeah. Seriously. Super easy.
And
so that's it. I mean, if you want to talk about like Max said, you want to talk about combat in Palladium, okay, that is a different whole thing right there. Not easy.
So next week,
right away.
Agreed. Next week, I'm going to be going over Coriolis: The Third Horizon. It's a Year Zero engine game, so it's the same system that's Mutant Year Zero, Forbidden Lands. What's that Kids on Bike game that everybody plays? Tales from the Loop. I think that's the second version of it, though. What else uses it? Alien RPG. I can't think of the other ones. Oh, Vaesen. Vaesen, which is a Nordic horror game. Mm-hmm. Trying to see over there, but my lights are in my way. But anyway, I'm going to be specifically going over Coriolis: The Third Horizon because I got a request saying, hey, can you explain this to me? And I'm not going to be in time for his game today, apparently. But okay, I'll go over it. I mean, I have videos on the Year Zero engine, and while they're all about 90% the same, there is a 10% difference between each game. So I'll do Coriolis next week. And that'll give Heathen Dog time to think about what he wants to do after that.
Great.
Or also, if we have our surprise guests, I say surprise guests, however we want to go, our panel.
All right. Well, that's it for segment 1. Thank you all for coming by. Remember to subscribe. Subscribe it all.
And share. If you have to pick one of the 3, share, like, and subscribe, then the answer is yes.
Good job.